Hello everyone. I have 5 more cards. Just one kit, the Spellbinders Card Kit of the month for July 2020, to share with you today. Starting with card 1, I've cut this gold frame out. Now, I kind of hoard the gold cardstock, so I cut out a die out of the middle. You could just cut a panel that is the standard A2 size card, 4 1/4, 5 1/2. Is that right? I always forget those measurements, so don't quote me on that. But I like to keep, the only part that's showing is the edge, so I cut out the panel in the middle, save it for later, and my handy tweezers are helping me to get this in the right place without getting glue all over my hands. Pressing it down with my little scoring tool there. And there it is, voila. Then I have this beautiful rose paper. Oh, it's gorgeous, isn't it? And that is going to go right over there in the center. And no one can tell that the gold paper doesn't go all the way through. So I'm just carefully putting it on, because if the white was showing, then they could tell, right? But look at that. Oh my goodness. This could be a beautiful card if I did nothing else. But I couldn't just stop there. So we cut out this ornate frame in the gold, and there's this beautiful vintage die cut of sheet music, and it fits perfectly in the center of that frame. So as you can see, I have mounting tape here that I'm going to make the ornate frame raise up, and then I use it to position the music sheet paper below. That's going to be flat against the card. Then I have this, what is this called? I can't even remember. But, it's an old way to play music. And so I'm using my vintage photo to distress the edges and give it that rustic look, and also take that white, tone that white down, because I don't think the white is going with this card. I have some mounting tape already on the back there. You can see. What I'm going to do, it's not everywhere, because what I want to do is place this, if I could remember what it was called, this musical player. I want to place part of it within the frame and part of it outside the frame. So the mounting, I need the mounting square on the part that's inside the frame. And then I put some glue on the gold frame to attach that part. And I realized I need another one there, so I added it in. Then I have this beautiful peacock with flowers, which again, I'm going to use the vintage photo a lot, I think, in this set of cards. I've used vintage photo for years, distressing edges in journals and things, but it really came in handy during this kit. But if you don't have that, any brown ink will do. If you want to just, or even any other color, if you just wanted to tone down that white, you could use gray. I mean, yeah. So, or you could fussy cut the peacock out, but that's a lot more work than using the ink. Let me see. So again, parts of the peacock are mounted up with mounting tape, and then the part that's attaching to the gold frame that's already mounted I'm just using glue for that. So we have these beautiful chipboard stickers. I say beautiful a lot, don't I? Well, these have this one here, the treble clef, I think that's called, has a little bling in the center, and then I don't know, what is that, a hole? I don't even know what that other one is. I'm not trained in music, but yeah, it's pretty. I like them. Then I have these 2 sentiments that say, with love, always. And the colors worked, the little purple and then the blue. And I adore this card. Let me know what you think. Which one's your favorite? Which ones do you like, And I was thinking, this is a versatile all-occasion card. It could be birthday, could be all kinds of things. So that's it for card number 1. On to card number 2, super simple, and I'm using these journal cards. So I have the card blank. Wow, I just lost that. And then I'm taking a piece of the maroon or burgundy wine colored cardstock. I've cut it out in a panel that covers the A2 size of the card. Pressing that down. Then there's this beautiful print. It's kind of a pink background, and I'm going to use my tape runner and put that down in the center. Then I have these 2 cards. I'm showing you both sides because I think both sides are gorgeous on both of these cards, and it was actually pretty hard to use them. I kind of wish, for these cards in particular, that they had 2 of everything, just like the die cuts. But, look at me. I'm gluing it down. Yes. But the other side is beautiful as well. So, there we go. And I am going to kind of connect them on the one corner and stagger them. I like that look. Then I have this other feather chipboard sticker. It's kind of a periwinkle, you know, like a purplish hue, but more a blue. And then it has a bling on it too. Very dimensional. And then it says so many wonderful reasons to be grateful on the journal card. And then I have this sentiment for you that I added. And I decided I want to add a couple sequins down here. Not a couple, actually. A few. 3, in fact. And I'm taking the pale pink ones. And I put the darker pink in the center. However, it's a little too much. And so I thought, why not add another light pink on top of it? And I really like how that looks. Because it's in the center, so it can be doubled up. It kind of stands out. But it tones down the brightness of that pink. And yeah, I like it. So let me know what you think of that. Card number 3 is a shaker card. I do like shaker cards. They are a bit of work. But in this one, you know what? I am not even using acetate. I'm going to use the kit. So I had this pattern paper. It's very celebratory. Lots of beautiful sentiments on it. Always, forever. Bird song, special. So I'm putting that down. It's covering the full card. Then there's this, what do you call those? Like the photo framey thing. It's a chipboard sticker, and I'm showing you that I'm using the packaging. Also, I was pointing to a hole. There's like these little holes in there, so avoid the hole. And be very careful as you're pulling it open if you're going to use the packaging. And because it tends to tear, so you want to, I was pulling it right on the seam, and then I push it down, and here's a mistake I made. I cut it all out, the mistake, of course, but I got a little too close to the adhesive part, and so there was sticky residue on my window. I just took some alcohol wipe and cleaned it off, but don't do that. Avoid the hole in the packaging, and avoid the sticky residue, please. So here's some foam tape I'm using to get my shaker element risen off the card so that there's room for the sequins to shake around in there. And I think it's a little bit wide. I think I end up trimming the edge a little bit, but this is what I had, so that's what I was using. You could also use the foam tape that comes in the kit, but you know, I used the whole thing up, so I didn't end up using that for this card. But there's also fun foam, all kinds of stuff you can use to raise it up to make a shaker card. So I think this is where I trim off a little bit of that white sticking out. And I like how it's a blue window thingy. Okay, stop. Well, right now I'm putting these die-cut butterflies down. I should just say that. But I love how the gold lines are kind of coming out and focusing the eye on the center of the window. So I thought that went really well with the shaker card element. So I wanted to have, even when the card isn't shaking, something beautiful seen. So that's why I'm putting these butterflies down in there. And I keep checking, like I've said before, I'm very visual, and I want to make sure they're in the right place. Now we're going to put all the sequins down, and you might notice there's more than sequins in that. That's what this little punch is. I have this tiny butterfly punch. I've punched it out of the navy. I am showing you exactly how I punch it out of the gold. It's a great way to use every tiny little scrap of that beautiful gold paper. If you have any tiny punches, you know, don't throw away the tiny scraps. Punch them first. And so I do like to do that, and I put them in there. And I am erasing, I had made some pencil marks as guidelines. I'm erasing that. And going to place the window down after I trim off this part that I told you I didn't like there. And my scissors get so gunky doing this. I do eventually clean them. But I think there is a point later in the video where I'm wondering if it's driving anyone nuts that I'm using these scissors with all that gunk on them. Yeah, but you know, just roll with it. So, let's get it down. Finicky process a bit. I sometimes try to cut out all of my fiddling. And a slowed down version of the shake for you. The card's not done yet, but this is the shaking glory here. Now, to finish the card, I wasn't done there, I guess. So, I've got this little die cut. out of the gold. It's kind of a border. You know, I think when I first saw the kit, I thought, I don't even know what I'd use that for. The surprising thing is I used it in a ton of cards. It's so versatile. So yeah, once I got my hands on it in person, I realized I love it. Especially with that gold paper. Taking this bird and floral feather die cut, put that down below, and then I have a sentiment here. It's Celebrate Today. And I'm placing it onto a scrap of the gold. Oh, there it is. That's my super messy trimming. And it sort of does drive me nuts, but the scissors still work even when they're that filthy. And then I'm going to glue it also onto this little rectangle of navy cardstock that I have here as well. And then that's going to go right onto the card as center as I can get it towards the bottom. A little bit of liquid glue there. This is just a beautiful card, which could also be a birthday card, could be any special day. So, there it is. Lovely. Now, card number 4, I decided to do a gatefold card. I was inspired by this die cut that you see in the background with the lock hole. Yeah. So, I think I was explaining the dimensions just now, and you're going to score it at 2 1/8, and then flip it over, score it at 2 1/8 again. And you want the cardstock to be 5.5 inches by, what does that say? 8? No, 8.5. I was reading the wrong part. Sorry. And then I took a panel and sliced it down the middle. And I'm not sure what the dimensions of that was, but I can look it up if you would like. And it's this beautiful wood grain pattern paper. I loved that paper. I could use it for tons of stuff, but I have to be careful because I don't want to use it up too quickly. But I don't want to hoard it either. I do want to use it. So I'm going to stick it down here on the sides there. This, I would say, in my opinion, ends up being what could possibly be a masculine card. Although I think the gatefold part, I don't know, is it masculine to have it be so fancy? You know, it's probably more work than most guys would want for a card, but it ended up being, I thought, masculine. So hopefully somebody who could appreciate the mechanics of it. Yes. Here's a sentiment that says, "Today is your day." So we're going on the inside of the card right now. And happy birthday. So this is in fact a birthday card. Yes. And I am just inking everything up in the vintage photo. And I loved this clock. Well, most of the clock, I guess. There was part, I don't know what that is. Some moon or something in the bottom that I wasn't crazy about. But I just kind of tuck it in and you'll see. And then a suitcase and a trunk. Why is that masculine? I don't know. But the colors and everything, I thought it kind of lent towards more masculine card. So, and what does that mean? What am I saying? Happy birthday, get out of here? With the suitcase? No, I hope it isn't taken that way. But, yeah, I think I'm overthinking this. Okay. Yeah. But I like the clock. My dad likes clocks too, although, so I'm sure he would appreciate it. He's actually kind of creative and crafty too, so maybe I'll save it for his birthday. So down goes the suitcase, and I can make sure he knows I'm not telling him to get out of here. And I'm just playing with the gatefold part there. I think I'm trying to center this down here at the bottom, and then I sort of fiddle with this one. Not sure where I want it. I was going to put it up higher, and then I put it lower. Even now I'm looking, I'm like, I don't know which one I like better, but that's how I did it. So that's the gatefold part. Now we need to make something to hold it closed. And so, what do they call this? Like a belly band? A belt, I think it's called also. I took it's a little over 1/2 inch strip, and it's 6 inches long because that's the printed paper that comes in the kit. So I'm reinforcing this fold here with the bone folder tool there. And I'm gonna vintage photo up the edges and even the center of these two die cuts. We have the keyhole, ornate looking keyhole there, and a lock as well. And get that all I'm just taking down the white because, you know, the white edges aren't even. So that would drive me nuts, I think. I would have to trim it out or, yeah. Now, what I'm showing now, you probably can't even see, is there's a cut there. So here's my little blade. You can use any kind of craft knife, but something that's detailed works better. And on my glass mat, I am cutting the side, as you can see there. And then I take a little slice out of my lock, and you can see very well that that's open there. And then I go through the back and slide the lock through that opening I made. That way it's locking the keyhole. Excuse me for my sniffing there. And I'm going to use liquid glue. Now, ideally, I think I would have used a longer piece of paper. So if you're going to do this with like the cardstock that's in the kit for the belt, you might want to go the entire length and just have a longer piece. But I was limited to the 6 inches with the pattern paper that comes in the kit. So it is just sufficient here. And it's going to grab onto the sides. And I'm going to press it down with my scoring tool folding apparatus just to make sure it gets well adhered. But I'm slipping it off before I do that because I don't want the glue getting onto the rest of it. I don't want it sticking other places. So I go in from the bottom, give it a good rub with that. I'm going to flip it over and do it some more and give it some time to rest, I think. No, I'm slipping it back on, I guess. Why not? Slip it back on. And still not done. There's more. Yes, there is more on this card. So the key, I'm showing the key. I've already stamped it in Versamark, put gold embossing powder, punched an eyelet through, and took a scrap of this like rustic twine stuff. And I decided to hang the key on the lock. And I fiddle a lot tying that on there because I've got big fingers there. But it gets on eventually. So here's a look at the inside and the final look at the outside. And that was card number 4. The final and 5th card. There's this beautiful background pattern that I'm going to use. And gosh, I think, did all of my cards have a full A2 size card panel this time? No white borders? I don't know. I don't remember at this point. But yes, this is in fact another full one, which of course I always have trouble getting it on just right. That's why I open the card up, because I'd rather it be well adhered to the edges than, I don't know if that makes sense on the spine. Alright, this cardstock, I just showed the measurements and I wasn't paying attention, so I hope you were if you need that. I'm going to use the Versamark ink. I'm going to stamp the nest and the feather and the feet. And boy, did I have some drama with this, because I already stamped, I was kind of playing around it, I stamped the reverse of this panel to kind of see what I would like. I was trying it out beforehand. But I wanted, this has a slightly embossed edge, this side of the panel, so of course I wanted to use that one. So I'm taking the biggest, I guess the nest, which to me was the widest. So I was doing that one first, and then I'm slipping the feather in between and going in different directions, kind of rotating it and going off the page. And the most, a very important part of this background that I'm stamping are the bird feet. So the drama was that my messy desk, and as you can see right there, it comes off the acrylic block sometimes. If you get this kit, keep an eye on those bird feet, because the day I got it, after stamping my example, before filming my video, I lost the feet. They disappeared. I was tearing this place up, and my desk gets really messy when I'm creating. I eventually found it in my drawer on the back side of a smaller scoring board that I have. Oh my goodness, but I was able to use it. So, and the small one is great for doing last because you just fill in any open spaces, and I've got these feet walking in and off the card, and I'm so happy that I found my feet, and I am trying to keep an eye on them. Tiny, clear stamps, losing them. Whew. So I dried it real quick with my heat tool, just to make sure I didn't smudge it up, because the Versamark ink does take longer to dry. So And we're putting it down on a little angle there. Taking another one of these photo frame chipboard sticker things. And figuring out where I'm going to put it. Fiddle with it a bit. Decide that I want this cattywampus angle as opposed to any other cattywampus angle. And again, there's that beautiful border die. And I'm just going to glue this below. Well, I'm going to glue on the chipboard sticker first. It does have adhesion, but it wasn't sticking so well to the images, the watermark images, the stamped images. So I added the adhesive glue to make sure it stays. And then we're going to put this little beautiful border on down below. It gets a little messy, but now this is one of the journal cards, and I have already partially fussy cut it out, and I'm going to finish cutting out the peacock because I wanted to use the peacock. There's peacock die cuts in the kit, but the colors on this one I liked more for this, and so I just decided to cut it out of the card. I wanted this one. And you know what? It's great. I am not sure what I was saying there, but I'm going to use some mounting tape, I guess. And look at that. It's sticking off there. I'm going to pull that off, but somehow there's still stuff sticking over the edge. And when I go to put it down, I'm going to realize that. Don't worry. I'll figure it out. See that? The white? Oh no, what's this? Yeah. Just move it. And then I'll add some liquid glue to adhere it. But I think do I end up putting more mounting tape? I'm not sure. Let's find out. I think this is the card where I really smushed it a bit, and yeah, there's a lot of fiddling that goes on in this card, but I really like how it turned out, so I guess it was worth it in the end. See me messing with that poor peacock? By the end of it, I'm surprised the peacock survived all that manipulation. And yeah, I've decided it needs more mounting tape. I think it's because there's not, it's just chipboard. It's not as thick as the mounting tape, and so I wanted it more consistently on the same level. I could have just put it flat, I guess, but... So, what does that say? Celebrate? Yeah, it just says celebrate. And I tone down the white a bit with my vintage photo. And I'm going to put that down there. I think I put mounting tape on the celebrate also. And then I was fiddling with the leaf because I wanted it to kind of hang over a little bit. And then I decided it needs a little bit of glue to stay put there. So then I have another feather chipboard sticker, and then these two die cut eggs. Blah, I couldn't talk. And we're going to put the vintage photo on the edges there because I didn't want the white again. I've got some mounting squares on them. So putting this egg down in the corner there, and I have to fiddle again with the placement. And a little glue on the egg, and a mounting square for the smaller egg, and I'm going to tilt it next to it. And the feather is going to hang out just above. And that is it. That's the final version. What do you think? Pretty fancy. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed seeing these 5 cards. They were the more fancy ones, though there is a pretty simple one in there. Have a great day. Bye!